the NFT and crypto markets continue to feel the fallout from SBF and FTX and whatever other acronym you want to toss out there. But we're pushing forward. We got some positive news coming out from Azuki, Pudgy Penguins, Sappy Seals as they continue to enter the mainstream, which is a good thing for all of us. We're going to dive into all of that and more. Before we get going into today's show, please like the episode, subscribe to our channel, head to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT portfolio management needs. Nothing we say today is financial advice. Please do your own research. Dan, how you doing on this fine November day?
I am doing good. NFT market looks good, I guess, ish. We'll talk about that in a little bit. This weekend we've got Formula 1 coming up, so I'm excited. Last race of the season. The controversial World Cup for soccer or football begins as well, which I'm also looking forward to a little bit in secret. You know, it's a little bit rough to say that, I suppose, considering the circumstances, but doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. We got we got some nice snow over here in sunny Colorado, but it's beautiful as ever. Cold as shit, that's for sure. But overall, things are good. Looking forward to watching some American football before the European football kicks off. Are the Netherlands in the World Cup?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I don't keep track of.
What is this? This is like statement you're trying to make.
I don't know. Like the Italians didn't make it in, right? And that was a pretty big news. So like if that's, and they're a perennial powerhouse, I suppose. So what group is the Netherlands in? Who are they playing in the first round robin?
Group A. So it's against. I don't recall the group on top of my head, but it's on Monday. It's with the host as well.
Okay.
And in your defense, we didn't qualify 4 years ago, so.
Well, okay, there you go. Yeah, the USA, I believe, is in Group B with England, Wales, and Iran, I want to say.
I think that's correct.
So I think they play England. So this next Thursday is Thanksgiving over here in America. It's my favorite day of the year. And the next day at noon my time, they play England in the World Cup. So I think I'm going to go to a football bar with a buddy of mine, and it should be a very good time. I don't know what the USA's chances of winning that game is. I can't imagine it's particularly high, but it'll be fun to go watch either way, and celebrate the World Cup. So yeah, looking forward to that. We got like I said, American football here that continues to roll on. Kind of my favorite time of the year, but yeah, let's get into some NFTs. It's been, once again, for the second week in a row, NFTs have taken very much a back seat to everything else going on in the crypto world. The continued fallout of FTX, the contagion with Gemini having issues with their earn program through Genesis Lending, BlockFi being insolvent, and they're going to be declaring bankruptcy. So it's been pretty crazy out there, but we do have some positive stories. So let's jump into the cute NFTs with Pudgy Penguins and Sappy Seals announcing a sort of partnership with Kellogg's. They are partnering with a NFT brand called the Breakfast Club, who is going to be using Kellogg's IP, some of the characters from the different cereals, to drop an NFT that has a little bit of utility in that, like, you get physicals of the Kellogg's boxes with the Pudgy Penguins and Sappy Seals. Now, from my understanding, I listened to a Twitter Spaces yesterday. These are not going to be available like in store on shelves. Like, this is just a collector's item for people who hold the Breakfast Club NFT that's going to be minting, as well as a Pudgy Penguin or Sappy Seal.
And this is where it begins, right? For Kellogg's, I would assume this is step one. No, like step 2 or 3. Step 2 or 3 could definitely be that's gonna be in stores or their own NFT collection. I think that's a pretty good like starting point, at least.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's, they're dipping their toe in the water a little bit. They want to see if this sells out right away, and they see that people are interested in it and enjoy the nostalgia of this drop, then maybe they dive in a little bit deeper. I'm not totally sure, but I think it's a step in the right direction. And the step into the mainstream that I'm far more excited about, and I know you are too, is Azuki and Red Bull's F1 partnership, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's this year like $1 billion industry, so that's amazing. It's amazing. So It's going to be on the Rebel car. I think was it near the front or the back? I don't recall.
It's on the front. I'll pull up a picture of it because it's a little bit tough to see on some of these. Let me find a good picture of the car with give me 1 second here. There we go. Yeah, it's on the front of the car, which is very cool. I mean, this would have been a huge thing if it was any car. Like if it was like a Williams car that, is going to finish last, that would have been cool in and of itself. The fact that it's on Max Verstappen's championship car, so if we look right here next to this guy, boom, there it is. Azuki number 8494. And I believe it was in collaboration with Bybit. I don't know anything about Bybit.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of, like, I guess Googling or going to the website. Never heard of it ever. All I've ever known about it is the fact that it has been in Formula One. And it looks like they're like a Tezos marketplace. And that's what it looks like, at least.
Which is interesting that they would bring over, that they'd use an NFT from Ethereum.
Yeah.
But I guess, Tezos is pretty well known for, like, a lot of artists drop their NFTs on Tezos, just because it's a cheaper and easier to use blockchain apparently. But yeah, that's pretty cool that we have an Azuki on an F1 car. So we've seen a lot of cool stuff with Azuki lately. They've had the golden skateboard. They have another apparel collaboration with a streetwear brand called Ambush that looks pretty cool. Like, it's not just the same old hoodie. Like, there's some other items as well. I mean, there is a hoodie, don't get me wrong, because there has to be. I think that's a rule with NFT merch. But man, Azuki seems like they're doing a lot of really good things. And despite my distaste for their founder, who, as we found out earlier in the year, has run a few other projects that, if you want to call them rugged, I suppose, like, it's a tough line between rugged and just like, at what point do you move on because it's not going to work?
Yeah.
I don't really want to give him any like benefit of the doubt there. Like, he rugged some of these things, but they've continued to like have some really cool partnerships, are getting the Azukis in front of a lot of people. Like, a shit ton of people watch these F1 races and will on Sunday. And if they show the car and you can see the Azuki, and even a fraction of the people who are watching are interested in learning more about it, that's going to be a lot of eyes getting onto NFTs.
Yeah, unfortunately, the cars do go quite fast. So when they're driving, it's hard to see. But
like on at the beginning of the race, like when they're rolling, because they do like the pre-race and they're walking around down in the paddock, and you'll see it there. And as they're waiting for it to start, they'll zoom in on Max, of course, and maybe they'll see it there. So I think it's more visibility, which is a good thing for NFTs. And the Azuki floor has responded well. It's back up over 10 ETH now, and the number of unique owners has gone up. Let me pull up their chart over on FLOLiO.com, where you can head for all of your NFT portfolio management needs. So let's go right here. Boom. Okay. So if we look down to the unique owners, we've seen a bump up a little bit. Yeah, they're back over 5,000. They were under 5,000 just within the last week. If we zoom out further, my chart's still messed up there.
Oh yeah, it's because a little dip, it ruins everything.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the 1 month.
Yeah.
It's still down a little bit on the 1 month, but it has recovered. So I think that's a positive sign. I'll be interested to see if it can continue to do that, and if anything happens, with the practice day, the qualifying day, and then the race on Sunday. Do we see continued volume on Azuki, or was this just kind of like, a nice little hype cycle, but it's gonna have to wait till more things come around. So, I don't know if this is a good opportunity to pick up an Azuki. Once again, nothing we say is financial advice, but it does seem like the team is continuing to build some things in the background, develop these relationships with major brands. And I think that's just a positive for the long-term outlook of the Azuki brand.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. I mean, I don't think it's gonna have any effect on like the floor right now, but it's mainly what you said. I think it's just good for brand recognition or like long term. I don't know. Yeah, I guess also long term brand like sustainability, like whatever. Don't think it's anything short term, but it's just good for the brand. So
Agreed. So we have seen increased volume on Azuki. We saw increased volume on all Yuga assets this week. While a lot of that was attributed to the Ben Dow situation. Once again, this is like the second time in the last few months where there were a lot of auctions that went up, and the price of Bored Apes and Mutant Apes took a big hit. Let's go over, and I'm going to pull up the 7-day volume chart on FLOLiO. But we saw an increase in volume over this last week. Do you think that this is a sustainable increase, or was this purely just a flash in the pan with a few of these events happening?
that's a really good. That's actually like a really good question. I'm really unsure because, and we'll dive into we'll dive into it deeper a little bit later. But on most days in November we've seen double the volume compared to October. The question is that sustainable? I wonder. I guess I'll go ahead and say I can see it drop again soon. I think just like a little bit right now, I suppose. Right. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty in the market when it comes to FTX and the fallout of that. Ethereum has been pretty sideways for what, like a week now, because considering it went from like 1200 to 1600 back to like 1100. So and now 1200. So I guess right now we've seen more volume, but I think in the next 2 weeks we might see a little bit of a dip, and then hopefully after it starts increasing again. But hey, at least we still have more volume compared to last month, which is always amazing.
Yeah, ETH has traded, in this $1,200 range for the past couple of days. We did see it up in the 1300s late last week, but I think at this point, I know our my co-host on the other show, Kevin Shannon, we talk about crypto. I know he's expecting crypto to continue to pull back. I'm not a crypto trader, so I don't know. Like, flip a coin at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue adding to my crypto positions as I feel comfortable. And on the NFT side, like, I think we'll continue to see. I think it's back to kind of a slower period, especially with the holidays coming up over here in the States this next week. I don't expect as much volume throughout the week. I would say Monday is going to be probably a high volume day with Valhalla launching. They, I don't know if you've been keeping up on that one very much, Dan, but we should probably talk about that as well. So for those who don't know, Valhalla is a NFT project dropping Monday. There are 10,000 assets in this collection. 9,000 of them are going to be available in the sale, both the whitelist sale and the eventual public sale. 1,000 are being held back, and there's going to be one a day auctioned off, similar to how Nouns do their one a day, which I think is kind of a weird dynamic. They said they're doing it because of the issues with creator royalties, so they have continued revenue coming in. The mint price is 0.5 ETH, which in this market is quite a bit. And I think that there are some positive things, but also some red flags around this project that I think we should discuss. So number one, I'll start with the pros. It is a team that is doxed. So this is not some anonymous team. You can look up who they are. They have, if you look at like their LinkedIn and other social media profiles, they've worked for some pretty big companies in the past. So there is, that's a positive there. They have, I guess this is a pro and a con. They do have backing from VCs. So they've already raised $15 million, which they say is to provide them, between that price and the sale, to provide them with like a 5-year runway so that they can continue to build out their platform. And what they're trying to do is be the Twitch of Web3 gaming. And that seems like a very ambitious goal. So off the bat, Dan, let's stick with the pros first. Any of those things sound interesting to you? Like, from what you've seen about the project, what sounds good?
VC backing sounds good, and that's about where it stops for me. Like Twitch for Web3 gaming's too early. there isn't really stuff that's really streamable. Because I think what makes Twitch so good and what makes it's very hard to describe why a game is a very streamable game, right? There's massive games that just aren't being streamed because no one cares enough to watch it. We don't really have Web3 games yet that people enjoy watching, or people, I guess, maybe enjoy playing. I really wonder if there are games right now that people are like actively playing every single day. And everything I've heard about Valhalla has been negative. I seen some screenshots where the founder, or alleged founder, I'm not sure if it was the founder, was like calling people poor, saying how they can just rug if they need money. Some very like sus stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's a staying away from that project for me.
Yeah, I'm not on the allow list. I have no. If I were to be able to mint one of these, it would absolutely be a mint it and try to flip it as quickly as possible. I'm not, let's talk about some of the red flags for a second here. And this is a question that Dickenza's just brought up. How does a PFP connect to a platform? As far as I can tell, the PFP is just kind of like you're part of the community. Like it doesn't actually connect to the platform. I don't think that what they're trying to do, they want to be like Twitch, so they don't want to limit it to 10,000 people eventually can connect to this platform, right? So I think I don't think there's any sort of like revenue sharing. I think it is purely you own that collectible that is part of that community. So red flags that I saw, number one was the mint price. Like that's really high. Yeah. And they were throughout the thread, they got to that point. There was like a video that they did talking about it, the CEO, as well as the thread. And in the thread, he was talking about how, comparing it to the mint price for Azuki, for PXN, which was a very bad one to choose because that one has gone like from 2 ETH. Actually, PXN was trading like 4 ETH at one point, down to like 0.25. And then CloneX, which, let's remove PXN because that one's been a disaster. Trying to compare yourself right off the bat to Azuki and CloneX, two of the projects that have been relatively strong through this bear market, I think is a big mistake. And it just kind of shows that along with them calling themselves the next blue chip, or that's what they're trying to build, it kind of goes to show me that maybe they don't understand the current state of the NFT market very well. Like this is, once again, how many times have we seen projects overpromise and underdeliver? Like how many of these projects have promised that they're going to be the next blue chip and they're going to deliver a game or a platform or this or that, and they've actually done anything with it? I know that NFTs are still fairly new as it comes to building a business, but the way that they worded things and the expectations they're building up for Valhalla just makes me think that they haven't been paying enough attention to the current NFT market to drop a project that is going to be able to sustain value and live up to the hype, because the hype on this one is crazy strong. Like it is very, very high right now. And I don't think that they can live up to it.
Yeah, no, I from the things I've seen, I definitely agree. I just think when a project has a mint price of 0.5 right now with VC backing, it just comes off as like money grabbing and or like arrogant. Compare this instead of Azuki and CloneX to Meme Land, like the potatoes. It was a free mint.
Yep.
Free mint,
Give me a potato all day.
Yeah, and what are they? Why are they saying because of all the stuff about creator royalties? OpenSea is enforcing royalties. X2Y2 is enforcing royalties right now as well, and many other platforms. Again, it was just like a short-term thing where people are like, "Well, do we not want this?" And it seems like everything is pointing towards platforms enforcing the creator royalties. So I think they're like in their reasoning, it's not really like correct.
Yeah, and this is the Valhalla page. They have they put up some previews, and some of these look. I mean, oh Jesus!
This is like Azuki.
Yeah, they look cool, I guess, but they're not very original. Like this just looks like every other, what is trying to be an anime project. Like Azuki did it better. We've seen PXN, we've seen like what was another one, like Kiwami. We've seen a lot of these projects that have the same kind of art. Like there's nothing about this. And if the PFP is purely to be part of the community, then I would think you'd want something a little more original. They do, on the plus side, they are working with some pretty well-known streamers on Twitch to get their name and their platform out there, which could bring more eyes to it, which has the potential to be good. But with the current way that video gamers feel about NFTs and how they think it, to drop a project that is minting out at like $600 USD, which you could buy a PlayStation 5 for that amount. I don't think that the video game crowd is gonna flock to that by any means.
It's a wrong way for adoption, I think. If they want to have like a streamer type platform, in my opinion, is it 10K assets? I would assume it is.
Yeah.
Because why?
Clearly, you weren't listening to me when I said that it's 10K, and they're minting out 9,000 of them, and they're doing selling one a day via auction. There you go.
Yeah. And then the 1K auction. You're right. I don't know why I forgot about that. But making sure they should have had like 100K, right? 100K, 0.05 mint, right? You're trying to get more people on your platform, right? Why would you limit it to 10K PFPs?
Or 0.02, like 0.025. Being able to say that, like, because 0.05 is still like the price of a game these days for Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. But say it's like 0.025, you're like, hey, it's half the price of a game to be part of this, long-term thing that we're building here. I think maybe sounds a little bit better if they do it.
Reddit,
And I know that like some of these NFT businesses are going on the smaller side with their passes, like especially if they're higher end. And I think that's the right thing to do. But if your goal is to appeal to a lot of people, then you probably need to go larger supply, but a very, very low price point.
Yeah, I just think that this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, like because people that don't like NFTs, like if they actually like have like read about it, have researched it, and they come to the point where they dislike it, this isn't gonna change their mind. This is just going to like reinforce their like thoughts about NFTs. They're just gonna be like, look, it's $700. Like, here we go again. Like it's, I don't know. Because Reddit did a great job of changing people's minds about NFTs. Like, the first one was like free.
Digital assets.
Digital assets.
Digital assets. They're not NFTs, Dan.
Or digital collectibles, I think.
Yeah, or digital avatars or whatever terminology they used, which was the smart thing to do. So let's move on past Valhalla. You did mention in there that X2Y2 is going to start enforcing creator royalties again. Did that just get announced like today?
Yeah, like when did I put it in our notes? I think it was maybe like a few hours ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Because OpenSea did something where they could like blacklist certain platforms for something. I don't recall what exactly.
So I know that the QQL by Tyler Hobbs, that was a project where it was a mint pass that can be redeemed for an NFT, and they had built into their contract that it couldn't be sold on any marketplace that didn't enforce creator royalties.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. So X2Y2 said that they believe in like hybrid royalties or something. I'm unsure what that means. I haven't really used X2Y2, but they said like we believe in the code or something, and then they just kind of I don't know, surrendered to OpenSea. I guess they came to terms with just creator royalties right now, and who knows what they'll do in the future.
Yeah, I would really like this whole creator royalties thing to get figured out. I know it's a complex thing. I believe that artists absolutely deserve their royalties. Yeah. I think a lot of the PFP collections should be cutting their royalties back. Like if they're relying you know, if your bags and the NFTs that you've collected are relying on royalties to remain relevant and to make it through this bear market, it's probably a good idea just to get out of them anyways. Like, because that is not a long-term viable business model. And it just shows that they aren't really that prepared to build something that's going to continue to drive value to their holders for the long term, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if you're enforcing like 10% creator royalties plus OpenSea fees, yeah, expect that people are going to trade over the counter. Like paying like 12% fees is really rough.
Yeah, I mean, some of these, I truly believe that the artists deserve their royalties. Now, like, I know that FLOLiO, who I love his work, he's doing a project that is going to be a PFP one that's going to drop, I believe, by the end of the year. And you can, it's like the FLOLiO paint is what you have to buy to get those. And there's a huge supply of them, but he's got like 10% royalties on that, which is so 7,308 is the supply. But 10% royalties on something like that, I think, is a bit excessive personally. Like, I get that you're going to have a piece of FLOLiO artwork and it's going to be his PFP project, so there's value in that. But I still think that that's a little bit high. Like, for his one-of-one stuff or his editions out of like 100, 200, yeah, I like, to me, no problem there. But in my opinion, like, that's one of the things that's been holding me back from picking up some of his paint is that, like, man, if I want to try and sell this for a profit someday, I got to make sure that it's going to go up at least 12.5% if I'm going to be selling it on OpenSea.
Yeah, it's rough, especially when it's like a little bit more, like if it's like a little bit more expensive, I always kind of think twice about listing it on OpenSea just because like 12% is like a lot. Like I'll pay 7.5, like including OpenSea. But if we go into like the 12 or like 15 territory, I'm like, oh, it's like a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So
100%.
No,
Now
not
that's
100%.
a lot.
Not 100%. Not 100%. Let's keep moving on a little bit. So one NFT project that I know our bosses are going to be happy to hear about is Flyfish Club.
Yeah.
They had an article in, I believe, a New York Post. I'll share some pictures now, but they've announced where their first location is going to be in New York City. It looks very cool. I mean, that's a pretty nice spot right there. All that glass, the inside. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And it sounds like it should be opening sometime next year. I had the thought that it'd be really, really great if Gary V is not our boss, but our bosses, our bosses hold Flyfish Club NFTs, and so they'll be happy to know that something good is coming from those. But my thought has been that if they're planning on opening next year, NFT NYC in April would be a really great time to, I don't know, like for the grand opening per se, but to have some sort of event there, because do something where maybe the Flyfish holders get in free. Other people who aren't holders have to pay to get in, or the Flyfish holders get a discount. I don't know, something, but just something to show the place off, because I think it looks pretty cool. And so my guy Riggs right here, I told him that, like, if I lived in New York, I would probably own a Flyfish NFT, but since I don't see as much value in it. But I think it's a pretty good move forward with that NFT.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what Kyle's saying is right now as well, like people holding Flyfish are probably like the easiest to what do you call it? Like make happy, right? Like if they're sitting there, do you know if they can eat for free? Well, like Flyfish holders?
I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so.
Like
I think
a fat discount.
So it minted a while ago. I want to say when I first saw it coming out, the holders have priority getting in, and they can also lease out their NFT for other people to use who don't own it but want to go eat at the restaurant.
Okay.
So a buddy of mine they had an event at Tao in Manhattan this last week. A buddy of mine who's and it was for Flyfish holders, I believe. A buddy of mine who is a Flyfish holder went to it, got to talk to Gary a little bit, hear Gary talk. And it sounds like Gary Vee was saying that that's going to be kind of like his hangout in New York now. Like once it opens, like he's going to be there all the time. So I think from a money making opportunity, it's probably a good option. From a networking opportunity, also a good option. So and if who knows if Gary opens one here in Denver, maybe I'll get a Flyfish NFT. But I don't think that's at the top of his list. I want to say that they've already mentioned, if the first one is successful, opening one in Miami, London, LA. I think those were their first like 4 planned locations if all goes well.
I kind of assumed that he would open one in my town, but I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine so too.
We have like 15,000 people living here, so it's really the peak Flyfish territory, I think.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really good option for Gary to open a location.
Exactly.
Oh man. Okay. Let's see. We have Cool Cats dropping their World Cup NFTs. I believe the whitelist sale is today, and it also started yesterday, and then the public mint is tomorrow. Do you know how many of those have sold so far?
I think that the whitelist ones were almost all sold out. There were only like a few more remaining.
Okay.
Pretty good to see, honestly, because it was a 0.0 like 69 mint or something for holders, or like 0.075, something like that. And the floor, when I last looked, it was like 0.12 or 0.13. So it's pretty good. I didn't expect it to go that well. I kind of expected it to go like barely selling, same floor as mint, that kind of stuff. But then tomorrow,
Do you know?
Oh, sorry.
So, do you know the collection name on OpenSea?
I don't.
Okay.
I think it might be.
Cool Cats Football Club. Here we go.
Oh, there you go. And yeah, so the public is tomorrow, and I think the public is a 0.1 mint price. I don't know how much they have remaining, or how much is how many are going to public sale. But yeah, I'm looking forward. So you get like a random country. The mint,
Okay,
so it's still like pre-reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get like a country, that country does well, and then you get like a chance to, have like a bunch of prizes you can win. Cool Cats NFTs, pets, trips, because they have like they partnered with the football app, right? I don't know what it's called. Oh yeah, one football. They so they have like a lot of contacts within like actual football, so you can win like trips to games and stuff. So that's kind of great, honestly. It's actually a very good partnership, I think.
So do you know if there's an equal number per country?
I would assume so.
Yeah, so there are 32 countries in the World Cup, right? 8 groups of 4. Okay, I think it's 8 groups of 4, so 100. That'd be 125 per country, and they're like said in the post, and it says on the page that they're dynamic. Like the metadata changes as a team moves from the group stage to the round of 16 to the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, championship, all this stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. Like you said, they haven't revealed yet. I'm assuming they're going to reveal tomorrow after sellout, because the first World Cup match is what, Sunday afternoon?
Yes,
Sunday night. So they need to get that going and have them revealed so people can start buying the countries that they want. And I'm curious to see how the breakdown is of the countries that are the favorite to win it. So real quick, you keep talking. I'm going to pull up just so that we can kind of get a little strategy if people want to trade this going into it. I'm going to pull up who has the best odds of winning the World Cup right now.
I would probably say Brazil, but the best odds probably Brazil, France, Argentina.
France has a ton. I did see it. France has a ton of injuries.
I think so. Yeah,
for their country. So I think that's kind of an interesting one.
Yeah, but
keep vamping for a second here.
And the one thing people aren't mentioning enough is that this is a functional Cool Cat mint, guys. We have finally done it. We have had a Cool Cat mint without technical issues or delays, and
congratulations.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, everyone, congrats. Like, this is a huge dub for the entire industry. I'm happy that they could finally. I'm happy that they could finally somehow get a mint right. But I guess they're still public, right? There's still time plenty to screw it up. Like worst case scenario, that public mint is completely destroyed, and then the reveal is destroyed, and then they have to reveal after the first game is played, and then it's drama. So we're not out of the woods yet, unfortunately.
So I'm looking at it right now. The top 5 is Brazil number 1, then Argentina, then France, Spain, and England. Those are the top 5.
Really?
Germany's number 6. Germany's 6.
Okay. Wow.
So let's go top 10 then. So Germany's 6. Your home country is 7.
Really?
Portugal. Yep. Portugal,
Okay.
Belgium, and then Denmark.
Okay, I guess that's fine. 7 is accurate, I think, for the Netherlands.
The USA is 17th, right in the middle.
Well, I think that Germany is probably higher than that. I would estimate they've got like really good like cohesion in their squad. Very great young players as well. Very like a lot of talent. I think that's probably what I would say. But
are you going to try to pick up any of these in the public? Did you get one already or no?
I got one. Yeah, you can mint 2 max, but the annoying part is that a month ago I moved everything that I really want to keep to like a super like icy cold wallet that isn't connected to anything, not even OpenSea, because I really had like on my cold wallet I still sign stuff on certain platforms, So I decided, enough is enough. I really need like an actual cold wallet. So this mint, you get whitelist if you held a coolcat. That's in my like real cold wallet. So I guess I can't mint. So my girlfriend minted one for me on her wallet, sent it to me, because she had enough to mint one herself. So you can mint 2 max, and yeah, I'll just stick to one. Hopefully, I pull like a decent country to get a good chance to get some rewards. Even if you lose, you can still get some rewards as well. By the way, which is nice. And yeah, I mean overall, so far I'm happy with everything they're planning. I guess the real struggle is like, what are they going to do after the World Cup? Because like I assume that there's going to be stuff after, right? Like what? I wonder.
I mean, I wouldn't assume anything, but because I don't know, I doubt that they're going to keep. These probably aren't going to have the same utility in 4 years when the next World Cup is.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
you can change the metadata. You can just change the flag. There you go.
Oh man, are you gonna try to get the Netherlands one? Like, if you don't pull that from the random, are you gonna try to sell the one you did get and get your home country?
Actually, no. I think I know that there's a lot of NFT people in the Netherlands, so that's probably going to be super contested. Like, that's probably going to be a premium. So that's if it's cheap. If it's cheap, I will, just because of my pride, of course.
Yeah.
But if it's too expensive, that's where my pride draws a line.
Fair enough. Let's see. Anything else we want to talk about today?
I put down like the Forbes article. I don't know if you want to talk about that. It's a little bit on the sketchy territory.
I mean, there's so many of these mainstream media outlets who continue to cover Sam and the FTX disaster in a far more favorable way than it should be, and that is very, very sad to see. Like, they're trying to make it. They're trying to make them seem like sympathetic people who just made a mistake, as opposed to grifters who are ruining people's lives and stealing billions of dollars, which is what they actually are. So I think it's a pretty awful look. I think that all the money that SBF gave to Democratic candidates is helping him and will continue to help him. I don't think he's getting extradited from the Bahamas. I don't think he's going to do any jail time. I think he's going to get away with all this shit and continue to live his life down on the beach, which is a sad commentary on the state of things, but something that we're just going to have to probably come to terms with and move past. And one of the things that, and one of the reasons why I don't like the anonymous side of crypto is that it would be very easy for him to just come back and create some other sort of protocol under an anonymous handle, and there's really nothing that people could do about it. Like that's a sad state of affairs. So I'm going to continue to push for people to be doxxed and not support projects that are run by undoxed individuals.
Yeah, and then he also tweet saying like how he's still going to try to create a platform or like another platform, something like that.
Probably. I mean, I would be surprised.
Yeah,
like at all.
True. Yeah, and it's gonna do it all over again in a few years.
Yeah, 100%.
And apparently the the Bahamas people were like, "Yo, give us all of like FTX money." Apparently, in like a court case. So that's the hack. Apparently, the because you heard about like the FTX hack, right? Like all the wallets got drained.
Yeah,
apparently
last Friday.
all. Yeah, so apparently that all went to like a Bahamas wallet.
Wow, this story keeps getting worse and worse, and it continues to set back the crypto community. I've seen, we've seen commentary from the usual suspects, Jim Cramer, Peter Schiff, that like this is the end of crypto. Everyone needs to sell other crypto, which is normally a good sign that it's time to start buying again. So I don't think this is the death of crypto. I just think that it set things back even further, and we're gonna have to work even harder to recover from this.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, all the crypto is dead stuff is kind of interesting and funny to see. People have been saying that ever since like Bitcoin was like $300, like $100. They were like, crypto is dead, sell everything. And then well, we all know
what. Okay,
right
hold on. I got to ask you something. When you make that voice, when you do that impersonation, who are you impersonating in your?
I don't know. I really wonder.
I don't know if you're like, is that you're trying to do like an American accent? Because if
no.
That's fine. I'm just like, what? What
Good
is this
question.
voice?
I don't know actually. It's my like ignorant voice, maybe. I'm not sure.
My ignorant voice.
Hey, we all have like an internal ignorant voice,
I mean, I have an external ignorant voice at times, so I can't really make fun of you.
True.
Hey, I didn't need you to agree with me on that one, Dan. Jesus.
I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. One thing I forgot to show is the Wolf game merch. It might be mirrored. Oh no, it's not mirrored, right? It's good. You can see.
Oh, how soft is that wool?
It's very wool. It's very soft.
Very wool.
And then so I wish I could get my sheep on this one. Unfortunately,
I like that a lot. Actually, that's really cool. I wish the sheep was on the beanie as well.
Yeah, true. But this does. So this is actually a beanie that you can wear this and not look like a complete fool. It just looks like a brand, right? It just looks like the brand name is Woolish or something. People aren't gonna be like, what is that?
I think if you just would have put the sheep on there instead of the word bullish, I would have preferred that personally. But did you hear how the all right, we got to talk about we may be late to our daily FLOLiO meeting, but this is more important anyways.
True.
I hope Chris and Mike didn't hear that. Did you hear how like the game night thing went on Wednesday?
Yeah, I watched like an hour or two. It was way too late. I was in bed. It was like 3 a.m. and I was like, I should sleep. But it seemed like people were happy. It seemed that there were like 800 viewers at any given moment, which is pretty good, I'm not sure if I was a huge fan of like the whole panel type spaces. They sometimes brought on like 8 projects or like 6 projects, and then they ask like a question. They can just like talk about it, right? And it all seemed like a little bit more like elevator pitchy because they didn't have like a whole lot of time, because it was like an hour per panel. But yeah, a lot of interesting discussion. I think their goal was to help everyone align themselves again, because how often does an entire like branch is that what you guys call it as well? Like a specific genre of like businesses, yeah. Like how often do they align themselves in like a conversation? It's pretty difficult to achieve, I suppose. Yep. And yeah, a lot of great conversation happened, and then at the end they showcased like a trailer for the full game of Wolf game, and that left a lot to be desired, I suppose. It was more like a cinematic trailer.
Okay.
So that wasn't that amazing. But today is their 1 year anniversary, so I'm expecting something tonight.
So it wasn't like a gameplay trailer or anything like that?
No, unfortunately not. That was what a lot of people were hoping for. Anything in game. Although I have a theory actually. So they didn't display anything in game. It was more like cinematic, but there were some scenes in that little trailer where I thought that might actually be in game, even though it looked like really good. And I'm hoping it's true because some they were like cutting wood or like they were just like doing certain activities, and it looked very streamlined and like actually like high quality stuff compared to what we saw before. And my theory is that that's actually in-game footage that they kind of like snuck in, quote unquote. And I'm hoping that's true because then looks good. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I like the sound of that. I think that is going to wrap it for today. Any final thoughts for the people, Dan, before we head out of here?
Any final thoughts? I don't think so. I guess listen to Dikenzas, check out his project. It's kind of great.
There you go. Go buy yourself a Dikenza. They're pretty. They are in fact pretty fantastic. So that's going to wrap it for today. We'll be back on Tuesday to see what happened in the NFT market over the weekend. I'm excited to watch the F1 race, see what everyone's thoughts are on the Azuki car, and if that's going to lead to any activity in the market. So thank you once again for watching, everybody. Please like today's show, subscribe to our channel, head to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT portfolio management needs. For Dan, for the team of FLOLiO, I am Jeremy. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.